Everybody, this is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum and why I feel as though Ethereum's getting ready to go to the moon soon. When I say soon, in the next couple of years, right? So I'm not giving a crystal ball projection here, but I'm very excited about Ethereum, and I think a lot of people who are not excited about Ethereum are missing a couple key points, and I'm going to review that here. So recently, Ethereum had its hard fork with Byzantium, and also it's got Metropolis hard forks. For those of you who do not know what a hard fork is, you can take a look at my videos on hard forks. Basically, it's where the blockchain just changes some of the technology about the original code, in essence, the algorithm, the mathematics on the blockchain. But anyway, so the big reason I like Ethereum is because so many ICOs are being built on Ethereum. And if I started thinking about it, I was like, well, right now there's a lot of ICOs on Ethereum. You know, there's Omesa Go, there's 10x, there's Power Ledger doing an ICO. You know, there's just so many ICOs that are out there, and you can take a look at the cryptocurrency market to see. Anyway, they're all being built on Ethereum. Now, sure, Lisk exists. And they could end up getting a lot of that, kind of similar to what you have with iOS and Android. So I would compare the dynamic in a way, in some way. Now this is not a literal analysis. This is just saying I would compare it in this way: iOS and Android. So let's say Ethereum is iOS and Android is Lisk. So both platforms can have applications built in like an application store, right? So it's an operating system. It's a bit more than that, obviously, because it's a blockchain technology, which is completely different with its encryption and the way that it operates. It's not completely different, but it is different. Now, Ethereum right now has so many cryptocurrencies on the Ethereum blockchain, whereas Lisk does not. Now, we've already seen the Ethereum price as low, you know, it's been below $1, and then it's been as high as, you know, what, 390, okay? And even recently with the hard forks, it went up to 342 and it's pulled back now back down to 307. But I keep getting these like ideas about how strong Ethereum is going to be. And if we just look at the circulating supply, for example, 95 million. So if we compare that to Bitcoin, there's 16 million circulating supply. So you would if you were trying to look at it, basically you'd be looking at the market cap. So you would take this number and divide it by the market cap, right? Okay. So if we go back to Ethereum, it's possible at some point in time soon that because of the way that the technology functions on Ethereum as an application, it could end up getting investment interest from big whales, big time investors, and that is why I'm so excited about it. And I think it could potentially pass even Bitcoin's market cap. Now, right now it's at just under 30 billion, and Bitcoin's just over 92 billion, which is between these two, they make up most of the overall market cap for the entire cryptocurrency market, which is at 168 billion. So basically, in essence, Wall Street, other other people in the investment industry, not just Wall Street, but major technology companies, they feel like Bitcoin's a fraud. But when they come to talking about Ethereum, they hold short of calling it a fraud because they cannot. They cannot. So whereas it could be said that Bitcoin is just a house of cards that could come toppling down, I don't see how Ethereum would be that house of cards that comes toppling down, because there's so much infrastructure being built on it, and it's a very viable infrastructure. It's a sustainable infrastructure. It's a software application, blockchain opportunity for other applications to be built on it, essentially. And this is just really exciting because I see this as potentially having a higher market cap than even Bitcoin because of the fact that Wall Street and other major investors see Ethereum as a sustainable project in what is being basically called Web 3.0. So if you don't believe me about this, you know about Jamie Dimon. He said that blockchain or Bitcoin was a fraud, but when he said Bitcoin, he said Bitcoin. He didn't say blockchain is a fraud. Okay, blockchain is a valuable technology that's being used to secure online transactions and other sort of transactions. And basically, in an era where Equifax is getting hacked and Target and TJ Maxx, I mean, the list goes on. You can just Google search who's been hacked. You don't think that all of those corporations are trying to figure out how to safeguard their data? You can guarantee that they're considering blockchain. And if you go to many of these symposiums and these conferences that are being held about technology, blockchain is what's being talked about at these symposiums and these conferences. And the fact that Ethereum is so far ahead of everybody else, including Lisk, essentially the Android of the market, I just keep thinking to myself, I'm like, this right here is going to skyrocket. Obviously, the opportunity to get it at under $1 is gone, but that's a lot more than $300. But then again, didn't Bitcoin at one point have people talk about how they had buying pizza with 10-cent Bitcoins? Nowadays Bitcoin's over 5,500. So, not saying that because Ethereum has a higher circulating supply, it won't quite have that same kind of ability because it's got, what, Bitcoin's at going to have a total of 21 million. This already has almost 4 to 5 times the amount of circulating supply. So the price would be about 4 to 5 times less. So with that kind of information in mind, if Ethereum does eventually pass the Bitcoin market cap, you would be looking at $1,000 Ethereum. So you could be looking at $1,000 Ethereum. And because it's impossible to make the projection of when all that money is going to pour in, it could happen in 1 month, it could happen in 1 year, or it could happen in 5 years. But when you're investing in this, you're investing in a long-term solution. And this one I feel as though is one of the most secure cryptocurrencies on the market, bar none. And one of the big things that I really like about Ethereum, and I'm assuming that most of you who are watching this are new to cryptocurrency, because if you're watching this as someone who's a veteran to cryptocurrency, you might just be interested in to hear what I have to say, but you probably already know these things. So people who are newer to cryptocurrency, who are watching this, this is the guy that you're going to want to follow. Okay, this is Vitalik Buterin. Okay, he's 23 years old. He's the guy who basically created Ethereum at 19 years old. If you can watch some of the video interviews with him. He's got a very intelligent developer's mindset. The way he approaches things is not just from a developer's mindset, but from an economical position. He obviously has insight into how economies function. So he's a macro, micro, also a blockchain developer. I mean, this guy has basically created something that is going to change the world. This guy, now, he is on the level. He's positioned to be on the level of the likes of Bill Gates, and the likes of Elon Musk, and the likes of Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, this is what this young man has created here. And you can follow him on Twitter. You can take a look at him on Wikipedia and learn some more about him. He's only 23 years old. He's from Russia. So you can go through all of this if you just want to know a little bit about the guy behind Ethereum, the guy that's basically creating Web 3.0, changing the world. Now, here's the thing to also keep in mind.
Well, Bitcoin gets most of the attention.
See, even CNBC. So whereas the mainstream media is so quick to put down Bitcoin and bash Bitcoin, they can't find anything really on Ethereum. Sure, they can say, I studied the code for Ethereum and I found some flaws in it, and it's just not as good as people think, and I think that there's going to be other blockchains that are going to come out and do a better job. But that's what these hard forks are there to solve. So as they're continuing to go along, they still have the Vitalik on the project who's going to continue to develop, and he's like 4 years into this. So of course he's going to continue to get stronger with it. Of course he's going to continue to keep up with all the competition, and he's probably going to continue to outpace the competition. So I don't really see how Ethereum is going anywhere anytime soon. Like, this is one cryptocurrency that is here to stay. Like, it's at the point right now where I've got my altcoin positions. Now I'm just going to start loading up on Ethereum. Like, I'm just going to start just at these prices, because once it goes over $500 to $1,000, by that time I'll be like, why didn't I buy it at 307? Why didn't I buy it at 330? Why didn't I buy it at 298? Why didn't I buy it at 250? And yes, we're looking at a platform or a cryptocurrency here that will more than likely go over $1,000. Sure, you can get that Bitcoin or that Ethereum price for 99 cents and watch it shoot up to 330, 390. If you buy 1,000 of these coins at $1, that's $1,000, and you watch it go up. So then you have 1,000 of these coins at 391. Sure, you could find tokens on the Ethereum blockchain that could pop like that. But just think to yourself, if it's going to pop like that on the Ethereum blockchain, don't you think a cryptocurrency having that kind of value on the Ethereum blockchain is going to add some value to the overall prospects of Ethereum? So, yeah, sure, I've got my altcoin investments out there, and I like those, and I get it. That's how you can create massive wealth really quick. But this one is a safe, in my opinion, this one's a safe play long term. You close your eyes, you wake up 5 years from now, where's the Ethereum price going to be? Okay, now in 5 years, that's a lot of time, but I mean, 1 year from now, where's this price going to be? If you look at if you just look at January 2000, and let's look at January 2017. So where was the price of January 2017? It was about $8. So, I mean, if you look back to, I guess you should say, because it's October, middle of October right now, we'll just look at middle of October. It was around about $12, and now it's at 390 or 307. It's been as high as 390. So, are you going to get those kind of gains where you're going to see, 50-fold? No, I don't think it's going to go up to. I don't think it's going to be a $50,000 coin or even a $20,000 coin or anything like that in the next year. Okay, could it be in the long term? Sure, possibly, but that's a super bullish prediction. For me, I like to say that I believe Bitcoin or Ethereum, in my honest analysis, believe it will be over $1,000, and I believe it can pass the Bitcoin market cap at some point, and I believe it can pass the Bitcoin market cap of what Bitcoin's at right now, which would give it a valuation of over $1,000. So I think if you're just looking to have a safe bet, not a safe bet, it's not a bet. If you're looking to have a safe investment in a cryptocurrency, now this isn't financial advice, so I mean, do your own homework, and I know you hear that on every video, but because I'm giving such a bold projection here of what I think could potentially happen with this, I have to put that out there so you guys do take into consideration other forms of media when making this decision. But like I said, Wall Street, they have a different outlook on Ethereum than they have with Bitcoin. Whereas Bitcoin doesn't have anything really but just a store of value. It's just it's like gold. Like it could be really in a bubble. And I'm not saying that I'm going to sell my Bitcoin because I just hold one Bitcoin and I'm happy with just one Bitcoin. Okay, if it goes up any higher than it is, if it goes to 100,000, cool. But Ethereum, it's not so much of a boom and bust kind of thing. This is more of a sustainable, heavy, like it's like a train going uphill. It's gonna move. It's moving kind of fast, but it's got a lot of weight behind it. Whereas Bitcoin's kind of like moving real fast, and it's kind of like when you start looking inside there, you're like, well, what's really behind Bitcoin other than the fact that it's already got the brand name recognition? Like, people know of Bitcoin, okay? But Ethereum, okay, guys, this is the one. This is the one. And I don't think it's unrealistic to suggest that in 1 year this will be $1,000. So how many are you going to buy? You're going to buy one? You're going to buy two? You're going to buy 10? I don't know. You're going to buy none? Okay, that's your decision. But if you're just looking to know where you can pick up Ethereum, you can come right here on a coin market cap and look under markets. You have all these places you can pick it up. Obviously, you can pick it up on Coinbase. But these are the exchanges. Okay? So here it tells you the price. It tells you the volume. It tells you the 24-hour moving average, or moving, how much money has been invested in the last 24 hours. 92,000 Bitcoin. So it's down though. It's down. If you know anything about Ethereum, it did take a little bit of a jolt to get up to 340. Now, you could have bought a significant amount of Ethereum, and when it pulled back, when it went up to 340, you could have sold. You could have waited. I don't know how you played it or how you did it, but then now it's pulled back. You could have ended up taking some of that profit, either putting it back in your bank account or reinvesting back in more now that it's pulled back. So guys, when Ethereum goes up and then it pulls back, don't panic. Okay, like there's people out there who are new to cryptocurrency who are like, oh, Ethereum's going down. Oh, Ethereum's going down. They're like, okay. And then if it goes below 300, they're like, what's going on? Is it crashing? No, guys. If you've been in Ethereum for long enough and you've been following Ethereum, it goes up and it comes down, okay? When it comes down like this is buying opportunities. Now, they say don't get so committed to one particular way of investing in cryptocurrency. Don't get so into data analysis that you lose sight on what the technology is. You know, some people, they just start looking at the charts and all they think about is the charts. They don't look at what's really into the cryptocurrency like Ethereum. You know, they don't delve in other than just looking at the charts, and they just look for candles and stuff. But there's more to investing than just charts and data analysis. That's just one part of it. I mean, there's so many tangibles that are at play when you're looking at how to invest in cryptocurrency. It's more than just charts, guys. Anyways, I'm making this video. Let me know your thoughts and subscribe to this channel if you like. My name is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. Thanks a lot.